as a certified Microsoft Innovative Educator. He's working actively in the area of scientific computing using Python. He is the author of various books. Some of books I have mentioned here, the C Engineering, and he also author of the textbook of the Applied Science 1 and 2 for the engineering students. He chaired many of the international conferences. Some of them I have mentioned here. The International Conference of Information Engineering held in Imperial College London, and the International Conference on the Solid State Ionics held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So with this brief introduction, I would like to call Dr. Sahuji to kindly start his session. So over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir, please remove your slide.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll
Stop sharing.
Yeah, I have stopped the sharing, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I would like to share my screen first.
Yes, sir. You are visible. Do you want to share sign? Sir, share your screen. Yes, sir. It is visible. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you, Tejas sir, for your introduction and kind words. At the outset, I am thankful to Principal of Vidya Pratishthan's Kamal Nayan Bajaj Institute of Engineering Technology, Dr. Haraj Bishkar sir. I am thankful to the head of the first year department and who is also the coordinator of this program, Dr. A.P. Hurekar. Certainly, this topic, which is given to me, and this 6-day refresher program, I think it is very vital in this pandemic situation. So today I am going to talk on this innovative teaching learning methods to make online learning effective. So let me now start. What is the objective or challenges in online teaching? What are the objectives and challenges at present? Friends, as you know, from last 1 year, we are all going through this pandemic situation. And what are the challenges before us in our academic? The first is adopt technology in current pandemic situation. Then while doing this, one has to maintain the quality assurance in online teaching. It is very important. Then third is, what is the benchmark to see online teaching is happening or not? It is very crucial. What is the benchmark to see online teaching is happening or not? We are delivering, teachers are taking the efforts, but really, is it happening the teaching? Are the students are learning? How to measure that? All these are very crucial aspects in the present situation. And then how to inculcate skill among learner as specified by NBA NAC in online mode as per OBE way. Yes, this is also the biggest challenge. How to inculcate the skills. Skills are given by in the OBE, they have mentioned in the form of POs, program outcomes, PO1, PO2. I am going to briefly introduce all this. Friends, we are not going to learn entire OBE, but what are the essentials of this OBE in the present lecture that I will discuss first. So in my today's lecture, as the topic is about the OBE in nutshell, I will first discuss. Then case studies. I am considering 2 case studies. First is mapping COPO in online way. Yes, it is also really a challenging. In offline mode, often we do it, but in online mode, how to do that? That I am going to present before you as a case study, which I have done in my college at Indapur. And then second is LMS Moodle and making interactive video. This is also something that if we have to retain the interest of the student in our learning, then something new beyond what we are giving right now is essential. So in that direction, I have tried to make the video interactive so that if I am delivering the content in 10 minutes of that recorded video, then at certain interval of time, I can ask some question to the student. Then student has to answer it. and then only they can proceed for the next part of the video. So in that way, we can make some interesting part so that learning can become the fun for the learner. Okay, so in my today's lecture, I will discuss some OBE in the nutshell. What are the important aspects of OBE? Then before presenting the case 1, mapping COPO on online way, I will just briefly tell what exactly COPO and what is its importance in our NBA process. So to begin with, friends, as we know, and it is often said in the day one also, when this yesterday also when this inauguration of the session was there, and then speaker expressed their concern in the direction also that 90% of Indian engineers lack key skills. That is what some observation is there. Of course, this slide is for the IT field. Then this is some news. 47% of graduates in India are unemployable. Often we heard this news. Then what are the exactly reasons why this happened? What are the skills which students are lagging? So I think the foremost is lack of communication skill. Our students are becoming graduate, but when they go on the field, then when they have to work in the team, then lack of communication skill is one of the biggest problems. Then second is fundamental is not clear. Then third thing, as often we observe, syllabus and technology do not match, especially when the colleges are affiliated. Then this is a very crucial problem. Syllabus and technology do not match, as the pace of the technology is very fast, and as per that pace, university syllabus often doesn't change. But then we have to find out the way. And what are the remedies, that also I am suggesting in my today's lecture. Then institutions do not follow globally benchmark practices. Yes. So what are the globally benchmark practices, and how we have to follow it so that our student can face equally or in the competition globally, so that they can be better entrepreneur, they can have the job, and they can live their successful life. So all these issues are there. So what are the lacunas and how to overcome that we are addressing in my today's lecture. Friends, as we know, in our traditional teaching, if we call it is a classroom teaching, blackboard teaching, then chalk and talk type of teaching, then it is teacher-centric, one-sided, where teacher comes in the classroom, he delivers the lecture, students are physically present, mentally maybe or may not be present, like this. Then whatever the instructions given in the syllabus to the teacher, we call it the instruction to the teacher. It is not instruction to the learner or instruction to the students. Then we often see that it is a memory-based traditional teaching, where we see in the examination, the question paper mostly state, define, explain, like that. And then there are some numerical also, of course. But then mostly it is memory-based. If student know the definition, he remember the definition, then he can reproduce in the examination. That's why it is called memory-based. Then what is missing in the traditional teaching? It is lack of scope for skill development. In traditional teaching, there is a lack of scope for skill development. So actually, which type of skill? That we will see. So challenges before the teacher in this current situation. Teachers are teaching, but are students learning? That is the question. Teachers are teaching, but are the students learning? Second is adoption of new technology. Yes, it is a challenge to the teacher that everyone could not accept quickly the new technology. But then this current situation made us to adopt the new technology, whether you desire or not. Otherwise, one or any teacher who is not accepting, not molding in this new technology adoption, he will be thrown out. Yes, friend, this is the situation right now. Then third point is, if learning is online or offline, then how to measure it? Yes, we are teaching, students are learning, okay, in the online mode now, okay, then how to measure it, so that if we can measure it, then we can say that learning is happening. So to measure, we have to make that measurement in a quantifiable way, so that we can measure it. And this quantifying the data, it is very nicely given in this outcome-based education, which is expected to follow in NBA also, in the NAC also, by AICTE, by UGC, and by all accrediting agency in our country, or in fact globally. So how to measure it? So we will see briefly in this. As per my today's lecture plan, innovative methodologies in online teaching. Okay, so while delivering our online lecture, these innovative methods can be there, it is there, but at the same time, when we are following this innovative method, then we should be able to fulfill the happening or learning of teaching, or the measurement of teaching. Is it really happening or not? How to measure it? That also we have to achieve in an OBE way. So we will see that. Then how to attain COPO through online mode with high order thinking skill of Bloom's taxonomy. Yes, dear friends, this is very important thing. How to attain COPO through online mode. Yes, online mode. In the offline mode, we are doing it in online mode with high order thinking skill of Bloom's taxonomy. I will not go in much details of Bloom taxonomy, but definitely I will show what are the HOT, high order thinking skill, in the Bloom taxonomy, and how to achieve it. That is the case study in my today's lecture. This is especially, I have prepared this slide. You can see here. This is what it is given in the NBA manual. It is given in the NBA manual, and you will understand the significance of this. What it says in the criteria to program curriculum and teaching learning process. It says clearly, see here, I will just make it here. State the process used to identify extent of compliance of the university curriculum for attaining the program outcome, PO and PSO as mentioned. Also mention the identified curricular gap. State the process detail, also mention identified curricular gap. Okay. See, the friends, what we are looking is, many times being we are affiliated institute to the university, and while mapping this CO and PO, many times we find that most of the POs are not mapped, and we ignore that POs. Okay, if suppose there are 4 to 5 COs in our syllabus, and then some, not all the POs are mapped by all the COs in general. Okay, actually it should be, but it is not. Okay, then some POs are mapped by say CO1, some other by maybe the same by CO2, some other by CO3, like that. Okay, but as we observe, we experience many POs are not attained, and the reason is, okay, I am teaching this particular subject, and then PO1 to PO5 are domain dependent, PO6 to PO12 are independent, and then when it is a question of say communication skill, or say when it is a PO7 environment and sustainability, then my subject is C programming, how I can go for that environment and sustainability, it is totally different. No, friend, this is not expected. See clearly what it is mentioned here. This note is, in case all POs are demonstrably met through university curriculum, then 2.1.2 will not be applicable, this below mentioned point. But if it is not met, then 2.1.2 is applicable. Okay, so you have to identify the gap. Let me tell you what this NBA manual says. Provide detail of the additional course learning material, content, laboratory experiment, project, etc. arising from the gap identified in tabular form from the table given below, format given below. So this is, see here what it is mentioned. Please mention in detail whether the institution has given such input and suggestion to the affiliating university regarding curricular gap and possible addition of new content or add-on courses in the curriculum to bridge the gap, and to better attain program outcome. So whole of the scenario is this: being affiliated college, we cannot attain most of the POs, okay, as the COs are defined by the Board of Studies in our syllabus, for our syllabus, okay. But then the requirement from the NBA is that we have to attain the maximum POs. In fact, ideally all the 12 POs, though it is not attainable by the given COs. So identify the gap, which suppose PO 7 or PO 11, project management and finance, you cannot attain with the given COs. Okay, then identify this gap, set your questions and give it to the student and take some activity so that you can claim that the particular PO 11 or whatever the POs you are assessing is mapped. Okay, so this thing is required here. It is clearly mentioned in the NBA manual. Identify the gap. Gap identification is very crucial point for us. And that gap, if we identify that gap, then the particular POs, we can map it, and then we can proceed further for the attaining that particular subject. Okay. So here now, what I am going to show here is just I am discussing some few points regarding the accreditation and OBE, and then we will see the case 1 and case 2. To meet the what accreditation is, to meet the international challenge, the Indian higher education institution attempt to differentiate themselves on the basis of quality, and which is where accreditation comes to play, on the basis of quality. Okay, so accreditation must ensure the quality, and to ensure that quality, different criteria are specified. More and more institutions in India are coming forward to get accredited to attain global standard. Now, just I will let me tell you something regarding accreditation in our country. Up to 2009, accreditation was based on input-output parameters. Means input is there. The input means what? For the college, there are laboratories, there are the facilities, there is a library with so many books. All these are the input. Then process is our day-to-day functioning of the college, and output is our student who are going to pass out. So it was the assumption that if all the input, all the laboratories, all the books, all the processes are in place, then the output produced, that is the graduate students producing, will be the better one, or it can be employable or whatever it is. It was an assumption. Okay. Then here availability of resources, it matters, availability of the facilities in the input. Then judging quality of output based on above 2 parameters. Okay. So it was a input-output parameters which was judged before 2009 in the accreditation process. But later on, as the changes are going on very fast, and there is a research, and it is observed that something different is required so that our graduates should become employable, and then this process has been changed, input-output process, or this model has been changed. So after 2009, what it is observed, followed international benchmark, young mind need to be trained with skills during their studies. Skills. Okay. Accreditation on the basis of outcome based, on the view that outcomes are dependent not only on the input, but also on process followed by institution to convert input into defined outcome. Yes, we need to define our outcome and focus on that outcome and work accordingly, design our all outcome-based document so that you will get the desired result. That is what it is expected in this outcome-based education. I will talk something about that also. Accreditation is essential to measure objective quality of the program. These are some points I am just making here. Many of you already know this. Just to refresh this before coming to my case 1 and case 2, I am showing this. Young mind need to be trained with skills during their studies. Yes. To measure objective quality, parameters are set, which is called POs. To measure objective qualities, the parameters are set. That parameters, it is a fixed and defined, well-defined, PO1 to PO12. I will show that slide also. Accreditation requires at least 12 parameters to acquire by student. Otherwise, accreditation is not successful. Yes, that 12 parameters should be attained. Attainment of PO concept arise here. So biggest question is how we implement the accreditation in the classroom. Yes, one should ask, we are going to the accreditation. Okay, but before going to accreditation, what is my plan? How I am planning, or as an institution, how we plan to implement the accreditation in the classroom? And the answer for this is outcome-based education, OBE. Okay, in this OBE, there is a fixed set of parameters, there is a methodology. If one is going to follow it, then surely you can say that the graduates, what we are producing, they will be acquiring the skills as we have mentioned. So in general, OBE, it is said like this, starting with a clear picture of what is important for student to be able to do. What student will be able to do is very crucial in this OBE, that it starts with this sentence, and then organizing the curriculum, delivery and assessment to make sure learning happens. Yes, friend. To make sure learning happens, that is what we are discussing in our today's lecture, in offline mode or in online mode. We have to make sure that our learning is happening. It should be quantifiable, it should be measurable, it should be attainable. That is what it is the objective of this outcome-based education. So organize the curriculum, delivery and assessment to make sure learning happens. So here I will focus something also about the curriculum and syllabus, because when syllabus come to us, and then what is the difference between syllabus and curriculum? So as like I said earlier, teacher centric, but now in OBE, what it is now this OBE philosophy is, it is learner centric. Yes, learner can be anyone. Okay, so it is a learner centric, means student centric OBE. Then technique to implement accreditation in classroom. OBE gives the technique to implement accreditation in the classroom. That is what I asked the question. What are our strategies to implement accreditation in the classroom? It is OBE technique. Then target oriented education. OBE follows target oriented education. Then what learner will be able to do at the end of the program is clearly defined in this OBE. Then coming to OBE philosophy, just in short, in OBE, target is given, paths are provided. Target is given to the student, what they have to learn. Target is given, how to reach to that target, path is given. We are providing path in terms of our teaching learning process. I will talk about that. Target is outcome where student has to reach. Target is nothing but the outcome where student has to reach. Teacher act as a facilitator, mentor, guide in this OBE philosophy. Yes, in classroom teaching is there, okay, but in this OBE way, teacher has to act like a facilitator, mentor, guide, and most of the work has to be done by the students inside the classroom or outside the classroom. And for getting that work done, when teacher is helping, then he becomes facilitator or mentor or guide. Teacher helps students to reach the target. Yes, target is defined. Learner has to reach to that target. How to reach to that target? Teachers are helping to those, helping to the learner. It is very important now. This statement is target should be measurable, achievable, and specific. I will show one example here. This is a very important statement in outcome-based philosophy. Target, whatever we are giving to the student. In examination, we are giving question to the student. That is also the target. Okay. So when we are giving that target, when we are giving that question, then it should be measurable, achievable, and specific. What is the meaning of that? Let us see this example. I frequently give this example at many of my talks. Suppose I am designing a paper, I am writing a paper, question paper, making the question paper on C programming. And if I ask the question like this, what is sorting? Explain any one method of sorting. Okay, this is very general, very common, very simple question. What is sorting? Student write the answer. Then explain any one method of sorting. But in the real sense, this question is not in the way by which OBE is expecting. What OBE is expecting, our target should be measurable, achievable, and specific. Okay, so the same question, how it can be asked in the OBE way, so that we can achieve measurable, achievable, and specific. I am showing here. Same question. See here, what is bubble sort? Write algorithm of bubble sort. So what is the difference now? What is sorting? It is general definition. Okay. It is not specific. It is general sorting. Okay. But now I have made it specific by making there are different methods of sorting. I have made it specific. What is bubble sort? What is sorting is a very general question. What is bubble sort? Okay, it is one of the method. Now the question becomes specific. Then instead of explain anyone, what I have written, write algorithm of bubble sort. So it is the target given, measurable and achievable. Write algorithm. What student has to write? Algorithm. Okay. In earlier one, what I have said, explain any one method of sorting. In this, what he has to write, whether he has to write the program, whether he has to write the algorithm, where he has to write the description, it is not clear. So whatever student write, we have to give the marks. But in the second case, write algorithm of bubble sort. So it is clearly mentioned. So this algorithm he has to write means it is a length is given, and that length should be achievable to the student. It should not be beyond his scope. Okay. And I have written write. So he has to write algorithm of bubble sort. So this is the way by which we can ask the questions in the examination in the OBE fashion. So important question is how we provide that student attain the target, and answer is again this follow program structure of OBE. How we prove that student attain the target? We have to measure either in online or offline. So how to measure? So OBE has suggested a program structure, and many of us, we know it already. We know this. So already you are knowing all this terminology. I am not going into detail of this. Of course, it is not the topic also, but then to create the background of my today's lecture, this is I am showing. Already you are familiar with vision mission of the institution, vision mission of the department, PEO, program education objective, which is measured after the 3 years of completion of the graduate of the students. Then when it is a course, suppose just like our engineering course, different courses, different branches, then in all the branches, irrespective of that, program outcomes are fixed. That NBA body has given, it is 12 POs. Then PSO, program specific outcome, is there. Then coming to course outcome, because POs are achieved through CO. Skills, POs are nothing but the skills, 12 skills, which must be inculcated among the student for all the subjects, for all the courses. And how to achieve that skills through our course, that is nothing but the course outcome. Course outcome is usually it is given in the syllabus. If we are affiliated to the university, then course outcome is there, or sometimes it is called course objective also. There is a difference, course objective, course outcome. O stands for objective and outcome. I will tell what is exactly the difference also. Okay, but right now we will talk about the course outcome. That is generally 4 to 5 COs in every subject it is given. And then it is the point CO. And then POs are assessed through CO. And COs are assessed through the questions which we will ask in the examination. Also, it is true that not all the COs can be attained through the examination questions. Some COs can be attained by giving activity to the student, like delivering the seminar, project work, field visit. Okay, all this is a part of the attainment of CO. Not all the COs can be attained only through the questions which we are asking in the examination. Okay, so now for this CO, what I have shown here, assessment and evaluation is very important, because there is any tools which we can measure, where we can measure. If we do not measure, then there is no assessment and evaluation. Unless there is assessment and evaluation, we cannot measure anything. Okay, so it is the evaluation, assessment, then teaching learning process and technology tools. So dear friends, teaching learning process is very, very important in our entire education system, because as it is said, we have to attain all 12 POs. Maybe it is a domain dependent, first 1 to 5, or domain independent. Okay, but to achieve this, what methodology I am adopting in the classroom, it is important. So it is my teaching learning process. So this is just in brief what I said about this, all the things in the OBE, this structure, program structure. Then coming to the point, PO parameter skills. Let me just quickly revisit this. Many of you already know it. So it is first PO subject knowledge. It is then second is problem analysis. Third is regarding design development of solution, conduct investigation, and fifth is modern tool uses. So friends, as we know, these 5 POs are subject or domain dependent. It is domain dependent. Okay. But 6 to 12 are common to all other to all which are domain independent. It doesn't matter you are teaching mathematics, you are teaching C programming, you are teaching civil engineering subject or whatever. Here 6 to 12, 1 to 5 is of course you are taking care through your syllabus, 1 to 5. But 6 to 12 has nothing to do most of the time when we are affiliated college to the university. Then it is very crucial for us to map 6 to 12 POs through our teaching learning process. Because many times in the syllabus it is not mentioned, but still we have to attain 6 to 12. And when we find this gap, it is called gap analysis. And when we try to attain that gap, then that is what our objective is, to attain all the POs. So 6 to 12 is just a societal responsibility, environment and sustainability, ethics, involved, not only in terms of examination, but then by activity also. Okay, so the question can arise here right now in this online mode of learning, how to make all these things possible. We will come to that point after some time. Let us talk something about the course outcome in brief. Course outcomes are narrow statements that describe what students are expected to know and are able to do at the end of each course. So we are teaching syllabus, okay? And then after getting the syllabus, as I told, there are 4 to 5 COs in this 36 or 40 hour syllabus in the semester, okay? It is 5 COs and 40 hours and approximately 8 hours per 1 CO. 8 hours approximately on an average can be there to achieve 1 CO. Then, sir, these relate to skill, knowledge, and behavior that students example later on. POs are attained through program-specific core courses. Yes, our courses syllabus. Each course is designed to meet about 5 to 6 course outcomes. Course outcomes are stated in such a way that they can be actually measured. Okay. Let me tell about this slide. Just a few minutes back, I told what is the difference between syllabus and course outcome. So here the syllabus is list of topic cover in the course. What it is mentioned only point. Suppose in the syllabus it is mentioned amplifier. Okay, but up to what depth learner has to learn amplifier? That is nothing but the curriculum. So we draw a curriculum from the syllabus. So course outcome, CO provides the major skill to be developed on completion of the course. On completion of the course, what are the skills of that particular subjects are going to be developed among the student after completion of the course? That is CO. Okay. So here, just that example is in the syllabus, amplifier is given, but in the curriculum, what we are preparing, that it should be design of amplifier, design of filter, high pass and low pass filter, etc. So clearly mention up to what depth that amplifier has to be learned by the learner. So syllabus and curriculum are different, not same. So here I am showing these some points now. These are PO1 to PO12. And just in brief, in tabular format, I am showing in the horizontal mode, all the POs are there, first to 12, that are mentioning the skills. And then CO1, CO2, CO3, vertically we have to write. Then first 5, as I told, it is a domain dependent, and then remaining are domain independent. So let us see some CO. design circuit diagram for CE amplifier, common emitter amplifier to get current gain of 50. If suppose this is a CO in our syllabus is given, then here, friends, one thing is we have to understand that there is a in this OBE there is Bloom's taxonomy. I'm not focusing much here because it will take again some time, but definitely I'm showing the important aspect of Bloom taxonomy. Okay, so this design circuit diagram, it is related to the PO3 because PO3 essentially deals with the design ability as it is mentioned. So this design ability is there and design circuit diagram. Here I am matching, and that's why I have written it is a PO3. Most of the time it doesn't match. I will talk about that also. Okay, so this type of CO directly deals with the PO3. Then coming to the second point, second CO, this is something different. First is I have taken example from electronics. I am taking now analyze cost-wise microcontroller project. My today's case study is based on this. Analyze cost-wise microcontroller project. See friends, this is something that identification of gap, which I have done it. Okay, because designed to match no matching PO. This PO is designed to match no matching PO. Because what I found, PO to do with the technical part of the syllabus. It is something different. It is project management and finance. Okay, so then I am creating the CO as a gap analysis. I am creating, and that is I have written here, analyze cost-wise microcontroller project. I am considering one case study here from second year electronics of BSc. In that, the students are learning 8051 microcontroller architecture. Okay, and they are learning all the technical aspect, but as I have to go with the skills to inculcate among the student, particularly suppose PO11, and which is not map through the given CO, then I have created this CO. Analyze cost-wise microcontroller project, going beyond syllabus. It is not given in the syllabus. This is something the task we have to do. Then only it is possible to map all the POs. I will talk about this. Third, this is different example again from the business. Evaluate operational efficiency of business from given balance sheet. PO4. Yes, it is testing ability. Okay, this is 3 COs I have taken from different areas, different subjects. Okay, but in my today's case study, I will talk about this analyze cost-wise microcontroller project, and how to attain this particular CO and the PO11 in online mode. And that is not only on the teacher side, but with the involvement of the student. See friends, no POs can be attained without involvement of the student. That involvement is what? That involvement can be in terms of examination, correct? That involvement can be in terms. Then this is something again, visit to industry. I'm showing it here. CO5, visit to industry and prepare project report. Okay, this I am attributing to PO9 and PO10. Because visit to industry and prepare project report, if this is the CO, again, this can be, if it is not in your syllabus, you make it so that you can achieve PO9 and PO10. Have some industrial visit, often we have it. Prepare the project report in all the engineering colleges. This is always there is a practice. Okay, so this practice we can attribute with PO9 and PO10. Why? Because that PO9 and PO10, it says about individual and teamwork and communication skill. Visit to industry and prepare project report. It involves all these 2 skills. These 2 skills will be inculcated among the learner when we arrange such type of activity. Visit to industry and prepare project report. Correct? Because it is a teamwork. It is communication skill. Unless that, one cannot interact with the people. And this is very essential. So these are the ways by which you can, if it is not given in the syllabus, then you can make it so that you can say that these gaps are identified. And as it is said in the NBA manual, communicate this gap to the university, communicate to the BOS. Okay. But here, very important point is that when you communicate to the university BOS, and if BOS doesn't answer, then don't wait for that. continue your further process. Don't wait for that. The thing is that you have communicated, okay, you get the response, okay. If you don't get the response, then also it is okay. And then you continue with what you have planned for this particular CO. So now here, role of teaching learning to achieve the POs. To achieve each PO, program offers different courses, just in short. Okay, that is what we have seen. One CO cannot attain all PO, especially domain independent POs. It is true. Hence, in teaching learning process, include project, seminar, lab session to attain PO. That is what we have seen. So for example, here, if teacher teaching in the classroom digital signal processing in electronics, and if it is not given the assignment using MATLAB, then teacher not developing the skill of PO5, that is modern tool uses. So it is the teacher who has to use such modern tool as per their need of the subject, so that we can say that that particular PO5 is attained in our teaching learning practices. Okay, so this is the example. So what we can say, assessment method in teaching learning process. So what are the different assessment methods in teaching learning process? This is very crucial. Activity where students involvement is there. To attain the POs, to attain the COs, student involvement must be there. What are the types of involvement? So here it is semester exam in terms of exam. Then it is unit test prelim exam, which we are conducting in the college, assignment. Then lab project, particularly domain independent when it is, then these are helpful, lab, then project, seminar, viva. Then all COs cannot be tested in 2-3 hours of exam. Friends, this is also very true. Because when we are conducting the exam, university conduct the exam 2 hours or 3 hours. In that 2 hour or 3 hour exam, we cannot say that all COs are attained. Okay, because some COs can be attained through the examination, as we have talked. Some COs can be attained through lab, project, seminar, which is not a task of 1 day or 1 hour. It can be 15 days or 1 month, depends upon the students' involvement. So some CO need 1 to 2 months. Okay, so assign project in all such case. Coming to now domain independent PO, this PO can be attained through well-planned teaching learning process, that is PO6 to PO12. I talk on this. Now coming to one more point, and then we will go to the case studies of today's lecture. This is assessment using Bloom's taxonomy, different cognitive levels as suggested by Bloom. So here we are looking, the lowest is remembering, then second understanding, sometimes it is called comprehension also. Then third level is applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Okay, so this is remembering is memory based. It is a level 1. Then going further, it is again memory based, level 2, understanding or comprehension. And then it is going in the upper direction, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Is to ask the questions in the examination, so that student or learner can have different level of skills, not only through examination, but in their project viva also, or in the seminar. Take the help of the keywords or action verbs, which are defined in this Bloom's taxonomy, which are given in this Bloom taxonomy, so that we can achieve all these levels. We can achieve different levels. What I wanted to say is, in the lower level of Bloom taxonomy, say 1, 2, 3, it is mentioned, it is a fixed hour, it can be tested by 6 hour examinations. Okay, level 1, 2, 3. But the same is not true for the 4, 5, 6 levels of BT. It can be achieved by course project, mini project, minor project, capstone project. Okay, so these are the high order thinking skills, 4, 5, 6, what I call HOTs. It is HOT, high order thinking skills. We have to focus on inculcating the skills among the students using all these Bloom taxonomy level, especially HOT level. What happens if we look to our syllabus? Most of the questions are like, suppose, state, define, explain. Okay, so state, define, explain, these are the action verb attributed with the Bloom's taxonomy level 1 and 2. Remain memory based. Every level has certain group of defined keywords. Every level of BT has some action verb. If we use that action verb and ask the question in the examination, it means that we are asking that question as per that particular BT level. When I ask state or when I ask explain superconductivity. Okay, this is memory based. Define type 1 and type 2 superconductor. It is memory based because when student understand, when remember it, then only he can answer it. Okay, so if we look to our question paper, then maximum question goes like this, and we are focusing only on this level 1 and level 2, and when we ask numerical, then we go to the level 3. But here the question is how we can go with level 4, 5 and 6 in our assessment method, so that student will really get inculcated with the skills which are expected. That is the question. Okay, so this is something what I told you about this Bloom taxonomy level. Then again, I am coming to this domain dependent, independent. I have just talked it. I will just read the last line here. Challenge of today's teaching. We are teaching domain dependent course to achieve PO. Attend domain independent skill through suitable teaching learning process. This is what in nutshell I can say. Attend domain independent skill through suitable teaching learning process. So COs given in the syllabus plus our teaching learning process that will help us to attain all the POs. That is in the nutshell what I wanted to say. Now coming to the case studies of my today's lecture, because all these terminologies are there and that's why I have explained in brief all these things. So attend COPO in each student at HOTs. This is the objective. What NBA says is, or any accreditation body is, attend each COPO in each student at HOTs, higher order thinking skill. That is the objective. Okay, and how to work out toward this in this online education mode. That is my case study number 1 in my today's lecture. So for affiliated college, curriculum task is largely about bridging the gap between CO and PO. For affiliated college, curriculum task is largely about bridging the gap between CO and PO. As I told, mostly COs are not mapping to the PO. So we are not doing anything for that particular PO. No, it is wrong. You have to identify the gap. That's why this statement is there. Curriculum task is largely about bridging the gap between CO and PO. So what we have to do is find this gap, make action plan, and execute to attain that particular PO. This is the important task of the teachers of all affiliated colleges, so that we can say that yes, we have attained all the POs. There are some COs given in the syllabus. Through that COs, we have attained this. Then we have identified this gap. That gap is helpful to attain the remaining POs. And what are the action plan, how you are executed, show the demonstration, show the evidences, and you can get the attainment level of PO. So finally, then before coming to the case 1, how we represent in a tabular format all this quantifiable data. Just I am showing the example. I am not showing how to do that. But then it is like this. My course is, suppose that number, course is a unique number every course has given. It is suppose C502. It consists of 4 CO, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then percentage of students attend that COs through the different methods, what we have discussed, through examination, through project, whatever it is. Okay, so it is said CO1 is 84%, just arbitrarily I have taken this figure. CO2 is this one, 3, 4, okay. Then whether the COs are attend or not, this is again a crucial point. So we have to benchmark this one. Some boundaries we have to define. What are that boundaries? If above 50%, if COs are attained, then we can say it is attained. And if it is below 50%, then it is not attained. Here, how we have to make this 50% more or 50% less, how we can analyze it? By the students' involvement, by the technique of evaluation and assessment. Okay, I'm showing that. Now, coming to the case study of my today's lecture. We have 35 minutes. How to achieve this case study I have taken, how to achieve PO11 at HOTs in online mode. Please listen carefully. How to achieve PO11. PO11 is project management and finance. At higher order thinking skill. How in online mode? Okay, offline mode we can do it. Okay, but in online mode it is really crucial. We will see how to do it. Actual case study which I have implemented in my college. I will show the result also. How we have done it, I will also show that. Then yeah, PO11 is there. What PO11 statement as it is given by the NBA in their manual. Demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the management principles and apply these to one's own work. Demonstrate. This is one action verb. Then apply is another action verb. Okay, as per the Bloom's taxonomy. Demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the management principle and apply these to one's own work. This is what PO11 says. Okay, so now let us see. In my college, in a BSc Electronics, there is a subject microcontroller architecture and programming. So here, students learn uses of microcontroller 8051. It is 8051. Okay. Now exactly what we have done, let me tell you. What is our objective is, to achieve PO11 at HOTs in online mode. Okay. Now what we have found, this PO11 has no relevance with the COs which are given in the syllabus. जो सिलेबस में दिया है COs, उसका और PO11 का कहीं भी रिलीवेंस नहीं है. No relevance. And that is the gap. My objective is I have to achieve PO11. The reality is COs are not mentioned any point regarding the PO11, but still I have to achieve it. And for that, what I have done. And then I have to ask the question at the HOT level. Okay, and how I am doing it. See here. Subject is BSc Electronics, microcontroller is paper. Then by looking to that syllabus, that syllabus deals with only 8051 microcontroller. Okay, but in the recent time, as we see many of the projects, many of the things which are as an advancement in the technology, Arduino microcontroller is very popular. So our students in BSc second year electronics are learning microcontroller 8051. They are not aware of Arduino in their syllabus. So what we have thought is, why not this Arduino is to be introduced to the student as an additional learning material, additional gap finding, going beyond syllabus. And for that, what is the methodology used? We have asked the question. Just see here. We have asked this question to the student using the online tools, maybe Google Form or like that. Compare cost-wise utility of Arduino microcontroller over 8051 microcontroller. Compare. Okay. So this compare is the action verb. It comes under the BT level 4, that is analysis. So it is going toward the HOT. Then cost is the terminology which deals with the project management and finance. PO11. My whole of the objective is to achieve PO11 at HOT. So by taking into consideration what we have done, that PO11, we have to ask the questions relevant to the PO11. So it is a cost. What is the gap? Student has learned 8051. What is the remedy? Student doesn't know. Latest Arduino. So why not we should ask questions on Arduino. But before giving this question to the student, we have to provide learning material of that Arduino to the student. See, one of the beauty is here. What task we have to do? Now the task is question should be beyond syllabus. What was our task? Question should be beyond syllabus because they have known 8051. They doesn't know Arduino. So now question, whatever it will be beyond syllabus. Okay. Then provide learning material to the student. See friends, it is a very wonderful thing. It is said in this OBE, many times people talk about the open book system examination. But if we ask the question in the examination, like state or define or explain, and if we tell the student open book, then it doesn't work because it is called copy. But if we ask the questions pertaining to the HOT level and then give learning material to the student, it doesn't become copy. How? That I will show it. Okay, because particular answer is not there because we are not asking the questions at memory level, at initial first, second, and third level, so that student can go to the book and just copy it. Here, student has to certain thing analyze, and then evaluation, some creativity, like that. All that things are at the HOT level, which direct answer is not given in the book. So what we have did, provide learning material to the student. We have to ask the questions on the Arduino. So of course that learning material should be short. It should not be like 400 pages. Because again, the target is what? Provide learning material. It should be measurable and specific, what OBE says. So ask question with appropriate BT level. Provide more than one correct option. See here, this is the beauty of this particular HOT, what we have to achieve. In the examination, when asking MCQ, if we ask a question with one option correct, then many times we see that students just उसने गोली मार दिया और बहुत बार वो ऑप्शन करेक्ट भी आता है. But just imagine if more than one option is correct, then things are not simple. ये गोली मार के भी नहीं हो सकता है if more than one option is correct. So certainly our evaluation is going toward the higher level. How? We are giving notes to the student which they have not learned previously. Arduino they have not learned previously. It will be totally new. Based on that reading, they have to answer the question which I am asking in the MCQ way. That MCQ question is itself at the BT level 4 because student has to answer that question with not single option, but more than one option can be correct. Okay. So these are my homework, what I am doing before throwing the question to the student. So here I am showing this case study, the Google form we have given to the student. Now, once we have done the planning, then there is only question of execution, how we execute that. So this is a microcontroller test we have given in the month of March. This is at 21st March. This examination is conducted. This is appeal to the student. This is simple Google form, some information. And then the question is asked to the student, compare cost-wise utility of Arduino microcontroller over 8051. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 options are given. Right, in the bracket it is mentioned here more than one option can be correct, and then finally student has to submit it. So while doing this, then this Arduino text material, as I said, it also required to be given to the student because they are not knowing before what Arduino is. So whole of the idea is give the article and based on that article design your questions at higher BT level. So this is what I have taken it from the internet directly, and this is given in the PDF form to the student. What is Arduino? Why Arduino? Going beyond syllabus, friends, what I am saying, going beyond syllabus. So just this is 1 or 2 page article, and based on that article, prepare your MCQ question that is at the higher BT level. Then what is that question is given, and then student responses. I have just taken the screenshot. These are the student responses I have received through that Google form. And this is a screenshot of that Excel sheet where I have got the answer of the students also. And after this, there is the analysis. ये क्वेश्चन मैंने दे दिया, मुझे रिस्पॉन्स आ गया. अब ये रिस्पॉन्स के जरिए मेरा अटेनमेंट क्या होने वाला है वो मैं आपको अभी बता रहा हूँ. See this student performance. What it is I am showing, student performance. So student then in that option, there are 3 options are correct out of 4. So students with 1 mark, each option carry 1 mark, 3 mark question. 7 students are there with student 1 mark. Student with 2 or more mark are 23. So 76% students, total 30 students are there in the classroom. 76% students are having 2 or more marks. 76% students are having 2 or more marks. That is my analysis, what I have done from the responses received from the student. And then I am presenting the data like this. Total students in the class 30. Then attain score greater than 50%, 23. Percentage is 76.66. And average attainment weightage of this particular CO is 2.06. How I have calculated is 30 students. Some student has got 7 students has got 1 mark. Then many students has got 2. Then also 3. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, whatever they are total and divide by 30. That average is average attainment weightage. It is 2.06. So then I am presenting that, suppose my course is C502, CO2 is my, what I am just attaining with the PO. It is percentage of student attain is 76%. And then whether it is attained, yes, because my benchmark is 50% or more, then it is attained, yes. If some CO is attained 45%, then it is no, it is not attained. So in this case, I am showing it is attained because it is 76%. And finally, I am presenting the data in this way for the further calculation of attainment level of that particular whole course toward the PO1, PO2, PO3, and PO11. So here important is this PO11 earlier I have put it was 0 because I ignored it. See this red, I ignored it. It was 0. But now with this practice, with this question, with this responses of an attainment of 76%, I have put it here 3. So earlier it was 0. So that CO now is into consideration for PO11. So this is how we can attain the PO in online manner. Set the question, think before that. Give some study material beyond the syllabus. Design the question. Use the tools and technology in online mode. Have the responses, analyze it, show the attainment. So what is the conclusion of this case study? PO11 not attained. Earlier PO11 not attained and mark was given. Mark given was nil. Now PO11 is attained with weightage 3 as attainment level is more than 50%. Attainment level of course say C502 towards PO11 is counted. Earlier it was not. So this is identify gap, set question at appropriate BT level. Set question at appropriate BT level, evaluate and attain. So this is what we can do in this online mode also. Friends, now we are going in short now to the case study 2, which is something again interesting because by looking to the topic of my today's lecture, innovative teaching learning methods. Okay, innovative teaching learning method to make online lecture effective. Okay, now case study 1 was we are using the technology, but in relevant to the outcome-based education, so that we can attain that particular course and PO. That is very important. Using the technology is one thing, but using the technology in a meaningful way, as per the requirement of NAAC NBA, even in the online mode, gives the fruit. Correct? So we are not here to just to understand the technology. We are here to make the relevance of the technology in our teaching learning process. Okay. So now this case 2 is really then something which is interesting because in this pandemic situation, online mode of learning plays vital role. Making recorded video lecture is one part. Now to see learning happen, one solution can be making such videos interactive, where evaluation of student happens after every short duration of content delivery. What we are doing here is, in the present situation, everybody of us, we are preparing our own video lectures and then delivering it on different platforms through WhatsApp, through email, through learning management system and other modes. Okay, but again the question is same: if the learning happens, Okay, how to make our lecture interesting? Because there is no face-to-face interaction. Students are not in the face-to-face manner. Okay, we don't know what exactly they are doing when they are listening to us. Okay, but even after that, how we can make our lecture interesting? How to involve the student in our lectures? So with this concept, now here what I am going to show is what are the latest tools available in this online delivery of lectures, and using one of such tool, what we can do, how we can make our own video lecture interactive, that I am going to show. So friends, present situation is tools are available like Zoom, Google Meet. These are the video conferencing tools to deliver in an online manner. That is what we are doing it now. Okay, but in the real sense, as we know, these are the tools to deliver in an online manner only. But beside that, 24/7 learning should happen with the student. It is not only this live mode where if there is a no power, learner stops learning. But if we can do using proper learning management system, the content delivery, so that student will learn in the 24/7 model. Okay, that is one of the objective. So here, what are the tools? What I am showing here is there are emails, words, PDF through which you can communicate to the student, give the information, give the notes, WhatsApp, Facebook. Then Google Classroom you are using. Then Google Form is the tool. Then other LMS systems are there. Learning management systems are there like Moodle. So all these things are available as a technology tools. How we can use it to make our teaching learning effective? That is the main concern. That is what my case study is here. So here just see then something one-way teaching. If we are conducting online lecture in a live manner, then it remains one way. Very few times, very less time that students are there and who are interrupting and then dare to ask the questions in the classroom. Okay. So how to assess learning happen again in the online mode? So to answer this question, I have attempted a small thing. There is a small efforts I have made where I have made that particular video as an interactive video. So here in a one-way teaching, the effectiveness goes decreasing day by day, and finally it is low effectiveness. It happens in one-way communication of teaching. Now, friends, see this something that learning management system and what others are doing. ऑनलाईन वर्गातील विद्यार्थ्यांवर राहणार लक्ष पुणे विद्यापीठाने गेल्या वर्षी हे जेव्हा आपण ऑनलाईन मध्ये गेलो लॉकडाऊन नंतर, तर दिस इज द न्यूज इन द पेपर. व्हॉट दे आर शोईंग इज हे शिक्षण केवळ एकतर्फी न होता त्यात मुलांनाही संवाद साधता यावा हे महत्वाचं आहे. In this meeting, in this lecture now workshop, those who do not understand this Marathi, let me tell you what is this here is. There should be communication in both the way. There should be the dialogue between learner, teacher and student. Okay. There should not be only one way of video conferencing where teacher is delivering. It should be both way. That is what it is said here. Use the learning management for that. Then this is something last year UGC also has notified what they have said regarding conduct of courses programs in online mode. This is given on the UGC site. Use of MOOCs, then Moodle online delivery mode. Moodle is a learning management system, open source. So I am showing my case study too using this Moodle, how we can make video lecture interactive. In e-content mechanism, friends, 4 things are very important. Prepare your content. Content means your own video recorded lecture, PPTs, PDF, notes, whatever it is. This is preparation. Delivery method, how you are delivering to the student. Just you are delivering through WhatsApp, through email, or what? What is the delivery method? Third thing is assessment and evaluation. Without that, there is nothing. And fourth is keeping record of activities. E-content delivery mechanism, the platform through which you are delivering all these 4 things, it should be the part of one learning management system and not a separate. Okay. So again, the same thing, prepare content, delivery method both way, evaluation system, and then keeping record. So online learning management system using Moodle, I am showing you a short example here. We are using Moodle in our college at Vidya Pratisthan's Commerce and Science College in Indapur. all my staff is familiar with this Moodle. There can be different other LMS also, one can use it, no doubt. But then something that we have found in the Moodle, which is really interesting, that I am going to show about this. What is Moodle? Learning management system, web-based, open source, 24/7 learning. Then these are some other features of the Moodle. We can do all these things: quiz, assignment, attendance of the student, collaborative learning both way. These are the features. Now coming to the point, to increase learning effectiveness, make video lecture interactive. But how? Now here, we will see the demonstration of how to make our own video lecture interactive. Okay, so I will just stop this here. Here I will stop sharing and will show something that it is a live. Now I am using this Moodle server of IIT Bombay. I had that membership. Is my screen visible, Sonona sir?
No, sir. No.
Screen
Not
visible?
No, sir.
Just a minute.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
No, I am just
Yes, sir.
okay.
To increase learning effectiveness.
Yeah. Now this is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, this is okay. It is visible. What I have done right now is I have gone to the server of the IIT Bombay, for which I had the membership for this particular Moodle. And now here I am showing in our LMS. Now LMS Moodle, I have opened it. And then how we can make the video interactive. I am going to the course C programming here. Now suppose I will just make some changes. I am showing the live demonstration of how to make video interactive. And for that, I already have one video of our staff member. That recorded video I am making interactive. So turn editing on. In this topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, somewhere suppose in topic 2, I am going to make my video to be added here. Then add interactive. Is it visible, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Then I am going to this H5P feature of this Moodle, where we can have this interactive content. I'm just going to click it here. Description, that is suppose sample video I am writing. Display this description on my screen. Then in this editor, interactive video, I have to make it. Then I have to add the video, which I have to make it here interactive. So add video. I will upload a recorded video. These are the videos created by my faculty at Indapur, Professor Sheikh. Suppose I take this one. I have to upload it here. It is uploaded. Then add interactions. Now this video is here. Now This video is without any interactions. No questions. I will just play it here.
Hello friends, once again welcome to
Is it audible, Sonona sir?
Science College.
Yes, sir. Audible. Audible.
I
Okay.
am Professor Tapashi, head of the BCF department. Very happy to invite you in online lecture series. In this video lecture series, we will learn C programming subject from FY this year. We already know 5 standard functions: string length, string reverse, string copy, string cat, and string compare. Now we will see.
Now this is a short video of 3.5 25 minutes.
This standard function. So without wasting time, we go to the directly compiler and take the demo of.
Now I will stop this video here. So in this point 57 means 57 seconds, what the teacher has said on that, now I have to set the question. Okay, I have to set the question. Now suppose I have to make it as a fill in the blanks. I just select here. Pause video. Yes, because when now I play that video again, then at 57 seconds, video should be paused so that a student can answer it. Fill in the missing words. Okay. And now I have to ask here question. What question I will ask now? Suppose string length function is used to measure what? It should appear on the screen, dash. On the to measure dash of the string. I am setting now. As a teacher, I am setting the question. String length function is used to measure. What is the correct answer? I can set it here between 2 star mark. Length of the string. This is not visible to the student. We will see that. I am setting the answer also. What it will be visible to the student is string length function is used to measure dash of the string. Okay. Yes, it is there. Label, suppose I am giving something, sample, and then done. Okay. Now here I will go back. I will play it again.
String compare.
See that
Now,
mark is
we
come
will
here.
see
What happens?
Practically how to work on this standard function. So without wasting time, we go to the directly compiler and take the demo of.
See, now video is paused automatically. I click here.
Practically how to work on this standard function. So without wasting
Now
time,
what exactly happened is I have to save that video. Whatever I have made it changes. I have to save it. Now I am playing it.
we go to the directly compiler and take the demo of.
Still it is. Save and return to the course. Something is missing. I will write here something. Yes. Save and return to the course. Yes, it is saved and written. Now I will play.
Hello friends,
I will just make it forward.
welcome to and take the demo of.
Yeah. Now see, I have said that question, that video was paused. Fill in the missing words. String length function is used to measure dash of the string. Okay. If I make wrong answer, suppose size, and then check, it says wrong. Then again refresh it. Length, correct answer, check. See, it has given the marks, 1 mark. And then make it continue, it moves, it proceed further.
For
So in this way, your video becomes interactive. Okay, in this way, your video become interactive, correct? Now, again, after some time, if
string dot
content given is enough, then you can stop your video.
that we declare string
At some point, again, you can pause your video. Again, you can go to the edit mode. Again, you can ask to the student. Again, you can set the questions, say at this time MCQ type of questions and all this thing. So in this way, your video become interactive. So what is the effect is that this video, as it become interactive, student pays attention. Student pays attention. And there is something fun that student experience. Instead of, then if we give the 10-minute video, then we don't know what is the effectiveness. But in this way, that interaction, that questions, that answers are recorded, and we come to know learning is happening, right? So this is what I wanted to show in this. So coming to the main slide again. Going to the last part. Is it visible, Sonona sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so this is finally the conclusion is, when we have seen after this, then conclusion of this today's lecture is, as we are also reaching to the allotted time to me. It is up to 1:40, now it is 1:34. Last 5 to 6 minutes, we can have question and answer. So it is a conclusion here. What is the conclusion is, make effective use of technology so that learning is measurable. This was the point in my today's presentation. Make effective use of technology so that learning is measurable. Learning is happening and it is in OB manner. Then to keep interest of student in online mode, use different pedagogy. Make video interactive. Include game pedagogy. So in Moodle, we can do this. We can add snake and ladder game with our questions frame in the snake and ladder method on the syllabus. Kaun banega crorepati type of questions can be there. Crossword type of question can be there. All these facilities are available in the Moodle. So these are all the tools to make learning interactive. Learning, it is a fun so that learner can enjoy it. And finally, the effectiveness of that learning, we can measure it. So thank you very much, organizer. Thank you here, all the participants. You have shown the patience to listen. Already it is a lunch time now, I know, but then that was the time allotted. And within that time, stipulated time, I have tried to give something to you. I hope that you have gone through all this and certainly you will implement all these things in your academic also. Sir, I would like to have the questions, please.
Yes, thanks a lot, sir. Thanks for such wonderful lecture related to outcome-based education. You covered from orthodox methodologies to the online, and the last part, which was in relation to Moodle, it was very, very interesting, and you can see the responses in the chat box. Very good reactions are there from our participants. So I will really like, I think you will not mind if I allow the participants to have interaction with you. So please, again, all the participants can unmute themselves and can have your feelings here on this
So
platform.
I will stop sharing, sir, first.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes. So the participants are requested to express their thoughts. Any doubts? Please.
Hello.
Yes, please. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Chitrikar sir, please.
Yeah, hope I'm audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
First of all, congratulations to Sauji sir. Really, it was a brainstorming session, and really, it's very good topic and nicely elaborated on the effective use of the technology for the teaching learning process. So, just I would like to have one query regarding the case one what you have studied, what you are shown to all of us. Like you have make use of the subject microcontroller and to bridge the gap of CO and PO11. So you have made use of 8051 controller and you make use of the technology with one question. So just I would like to ask, it was fulfilling, means for only fulfilling one CO with PO11 it was done. So in the similar fashion, is it possible to bridge all dependent POs from one subjects, or it is better to go for bridging all the COs with all the POs cumulatively for the whole program? Over to you, sir.
yes, sir. Sir, it is a really good question. I already said, sir, you cannot map all your POs with one CO in general, but our attempt should be in that direction so that we can bridge the gap and ask the question by going beyond the syllabus. If there are 4 COs, CO1, it should map with all the POs. PO1 to 5, domain dependent, of course, they have to match, but then beyond that, you have to map. Here, I will give you one example. Just if we have the time and if organizer permit. If
Yes, sir.
suppose I am teaching C programming, and then PO7 is environment and sustainability. Now, how to map it in my course? So here again, going beyond the syllabus, but then the activity you can give it to the student in the online mode now. All the students are at their home. My question is, my subject is now here C programming. My target is achieve PO7, environment sustainability. Okay. Then how I can make the correlation? So if suppose there are 70 students in my classroom, ask the student to submit their journal in a soft copy format. Otherwise, they make it hard copy. If one student having journal of 50 pages and 70 student, then it is almost 3,500 pages. And if it is a 8.5 by 11 inch A4 size paper, then see that how many papers we required. Means the production of the paper is from the wood. So if we are saving that much 2,500 pages, then that is also one of the sort of attaining toward the environment and sustainability by making a student to submit the journal in online manner, soft copy. Yes, sir. I hope, sir, your question is in this direction.
Yeah, sir. So thank you.
Yes.
And even I will be thankful to you for your idea also of muting the video in between and asking some questions to the students. Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
sir.
It was really very interesting session. Over to the organizers.
Thank you, Sauji sir, for excellent session.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anyone who want to ask some question? If not, let us proceed for vote of thanks. Tejas.
So
Sir.
before that,
Yes,
let me express my thanks to Dr. Bishkar sir, Dr. Hivreka sir, and all the team members of first year engineering of VPKB IIT who has taken these efforts for the success of this 6-day refresher program. And I wish all the best for the remaining program also. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. So good afternoon all. I'm Tejas on behalf of all the participants here for the proposing the vote of thanks to the Dr. Sahuji. Thank you so much, sir, for such a brainstorming, informative, and with great elaborative session. With the case studies, the COPO mapping is very difficult for the professors. So you have elaborated that in a great way by using the case studies and all. So then the part where you explain how to make the videos interactive, to how to make it interactive, that is a very great part. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir.
Here I am looking one question in the chat box. Interactive video is a standard feature of or plugin in the Moodle. Sir, it is plugin. Interactive video is a plugin. You have to call it so that you can include in your Moodle.
Okay, sir. So with this, I should say we have to conclude this session. If you don't mind, sir, can we conclude the session?
Yes, sir. So this is all about for today. So we'll be meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Please, a sincere request to join at least 5 minutes before 9 a.m. Tomorrow, and the same link will be applicable for all the sessions during every day. For different days, different links will be there. But for a particular day, only one link will be applicable. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sonona, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have a good day.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everyone, all the first year staff, HOD, principal, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. You are welcome, sir. It is nice to hear you on this online platform.
It is my pleasure, sir.
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.